Something's brewing in the shadows of crypto, and Hedera just lit the fuse. Overnight, the same Wall Street giants who once mocked blockchain quietly moved hundreds of millions into HBAR, but no one's talking about why. Prices look calm, charts look dead, yet beneath that silence, the foundations of global finance are shifting. Is this a setup before the explosion, or the last warning before the crowd wakes up broke? Either way, what's coming next will stun everyone watching. If you're interested in this topic, hit the like button, subscribe, and type "interested" in the comments, and I will give you a heart. The silence before a financial storm always feels calm, until it isn't. Right now, while retail traders scroll past HBAR thinking it's just another altcoin, the biggest money in the world is quietly moving in. No headlines, no hype, just billions shifting hands behind closed doors. Over the past few weeks, something extraordinary has been happening beneath the surface. Hedera, once dismissed as a side project to Ethereum, just became the third cryptocurrency in history to get a spot ETF approval. Bitcoin was first, Ethereum followed, but the third, Hedera, out of over 19 million cryptos, tracked by CoinMarketCap, only 3 have made it this far. That alone should have set alarms off across the entire market, but barely anyone noticed. So, what are these institutions seeing that retail investors aren't? Why are they quietly absorbing HBAR at lightning speed while the public focuses on short-term dips? The answer lies in one word: infrastructure. Hedera isn't just another blockchain trying to pump its token. It's the invisible wiring of the next financial system. While other cryptos fight over meme trends and quick profits, Hedera is solving the hardest problem in finance: speed, security, and scalability at once. It's why banks, governments, and even stock exchanges are taking notice. According to data from Canary Capital and Hedera Foundation, the newly approved HBAR ETF absorbed over 262 million tokens in less than 3 days. That's roughly 250 million HBAR gone from circulation just like that. Imagine what happens when Grayscale, Osprey, and other financial giants join the race. The supply squeeze alone could rewrite the price chart overnight. But here's where it gets even wilder. This isn't just about price, it's about control. For years, Bitcoin was the rebel, the people's money. Ethereum was the dreamer, the builder's playground. Hedera? It's becoming the bridge between both worlds, the corporate-grade infrastructure that Wall Street can finally trust. This means one thing: institutional DeFi is no longer theory. It's being built right now on Hedera's hashgraph network. Governments and enterprises aren't testing crypto anymore. They're adopting it, locking in compliance, regulation, and data transparency through Hedera's system. Think about that. The same network that tracks real estate through Gcoin and processes carbon credits is now the one that institutions are anchoring billions into. That's not hype, it's a power shift. And while everyone's distracted by Bitcoin dominance and daily volatility, HBAR is being positioned as the digital backbone for what's next. Tokenized assets, national currencies, even trillion-dollar stock markets running on-chain. The irony? Most people will miss it because they're waiting for a pump instead of understanding the pivot. This is where smart investors play differently. They don't chase green candles, they look at where the money is being built. And right now, it's being built on Hedera. Because when the next bull wave hits, it won't be led by hype, it'll be led by infrastructure. And whoever owns the rails owns the wealth. HBAR isn't just fighting for a price breakout, it's fighting for the throne of financial architecture. And when that reality hits mainstream consciousness, when the ETFs are live, when Wall Street starts tokenizing trillion-dollar portfolios through Hedera, most retail investors will realize they were holding the next generational wealth engine, but they let fear and noise make them blind. This isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about positioning before the system flips. Because when it does, HBAR holders won't just be investors. They'll be the early architects of the new financial world. Let's get brutally honest for a second. This isn't just about crypto anymore. This is about you, your future, your savings, your retirement, your shot at freedom before the system resets. While most Americans are tightening their belts just to survive inflation, Wall Street and central banks are quietly building the rails for a new digital economy. And guess which network sits at the center of it? Hedera. Here's the truth no one's telling you. When institutions adopt technology at this scale, they're not thinking about retail investors. They're thinking about control. Control of the rails, control of the data, control of the money flow. And if you're not positioned early, you'll be left paying for the system instead of benefiting from it. That's why this moment is so crucial. Hedera's ETF approval wasn't just a green light, it was a signal. It told the world the infrastructure for the new financial era has been chosen. While everyone was distracted by the noise politics, war headlines, meme coins, the future of digital finance was quietly being written in code. And it wasn't Bitcoin or Ethereum that got the tap on the shoulder. Think about that. The same corporations that manage your 401xi key, your insurance, your pension, they're now testing tokenization through Hedera's hashgraph technology. Real estate, stocks, bonds, commodities, every asset class you can imagine is being prepared for on-chain transformation. The question is, will you be an observer or a participant? Because here's the harsh reality. When this switch flips, the divide between those who adapted and those who ignored it will be brutal. The early few will own digital assets that underpin this entire machine, while the late majority will wake up to find their dollars worth less, their jobs automated, and their safe savings accounts replaced by programmable CBDCs they can't even control. That's why I'm telling you this isn't the time to sit on the sidelines. If you've ever felt like the system was rigged against you, this is your shot to get ahead of it. For the first time in history, regular people have access to the same rails that institutions are quietly adopting. But that window won't stay open long. And listen, I get it. The market's red. Prices are shaky. Fears everywhere. That's exactly how they want it. Because while retail investors panic sell, institutions accumulate. While you doubt, they build. And by the time the recovery hits, they'll already own the infrastructure you once could have bought for pennies. That's why I'm inviting you, no hype, no gimmicks, to become part of our community. A place where we break the noise, share real data, and uncover early-stage opportunities before they hit mainstream media. A group that's not chasing quick profits, but preparing for the greatest wealth transfer of our lifetime. It's not just about making money, it's about taking back control, about being on the right side of history when this financial shift becomes irreversible. Because here's the thing, Hedera's story isn't just a crypto play, it's a lifeline, a bridge between chaos and opportunity. And whether you realize it or not, you're standing at the exact same crossroad every early adopter once faced. Doubt it and miss it, or believe it and build wealth for generations. The next few months will decide which side of that line you end up on. When history shifts, it never announces itself. It creeps in through silence, through technology updates, ETF filings, and quiet boardroom meetings. Then one morning, you wake up and realize the world's money has changed hands while you were sleeping. That's what's happening right now with Hedera. You can feel it if you know where to look. The same banks that dismissed crypto 5 years ago are now building on Hashgraph. The same regulators who once shut down exchanges are now approving Hedera-based ETFs. The same analysts who said crypto's dead are suddenly whispering about institutional DeFi. This isn't hype. It's transformation, one that will redefine how you earn, save, and spend. Because here's the reality. What Hedera is building doesn't just impact traders. It impacts retirees watching their 401k melt from inflation. It impacts small business owners drowning under high fees and slow settlements. It impacts every working American who's tired of a system that rewards the few and bleeds the many. And guess what? Those few, the ones who've always controlled the game, they already see what's coming. That's why they're moving now. While most people argue over politics or gas prices, the elite are quietly buying their positions into the new digital infrastructure. They're preparing for the next system, not the next election. But here's the twist. For once, you have a way in. For once, retail investors aren't locked out. Hedera is one of the only networks built to be compliant, transparent, and accessible. It's not hidden behind billion-dollar hedge funds or private banking systems. You can own a piece of it today. Think about that. The same rails that global corporations and governments will run their assets on can also sit inside your wallet. That's not speculation. That's leverage, the kind of leverage that creates millionaires before the rest of the world even notices. And if you think that sounds far-fetched, remember this. Every financial revolution looked impossible until it wasn't. In the 90 seconds, people laughed at Amazon. In the 2000s, they ignored Bitcoin. In the 2020 seconds, they'll regret missing Hedera. Because the ETF approval wasn't the finish line, it was the starting gun. The first domino in a trillion-dollar race for tokenized everything. Real estate, bonds, gold, art, energy credits, healthcare systems, all of it. Digitized and tracked through Hashgraph's architecture. And once that happens, you're either holding the keys to the system or you're watching from the sidelines while your dollar loses power by the day. So ask yourself, what side of that future do you want to live on? The side that reacts or the side that prepares? This isn't financial advice, it's a wake-up call. Because in every revolution, there's a moment when the brave act and the crowd hesitates. This is that moment. The question is, will you claim your place before the gate closes? The next wave of wealth isn't coming from hype coins or short-term pumps. It's coming from infrastructure. The same infrastructure that will quietly power the next generation of banking, insurance, trade, and AI-driven systems. And HBAR is already sitting at the center of it. So while the world keeps sleeping, you now know what's unfolding. The shift has begun. The question isn't whether it's real. The question is, are you in position when the lights come on? Because by then, it won't be a secret anymore.